architect from Springfield, Illinois, and on the board of the National Building Arts Center. I'm here today to give you some comments from Eric Sandweiss. Sandweiss was one of the museum curators who was part of that early think tank of people working with Larry to go, what could we do here? How does this go from an artifact collection, a salvage business, to a museum? So here are Eric's comments. He regrets that he couldn't be here, but he was there at the beginning as Larry was shaping the idea of this museum. Years ago, I enjoyed giving tours of St. Louis. One of the things I grew used to hearing on these trips as we'd head north along Broadway or east on Delmar was a simple but painful question that everyone here today has heard too many times. Where did it all go? One of the many possible long and short answers to that question, I came to settle on only one that gave me hope. You need to meet Larry Giles. Larry's life project, rescuing the fragments of a great city, has no parallel that I know of on Earth. Maybe you visited a reconstructed colonial village or worked to preserve a Main Street storefront. But no one this side of the 16th century Vatican has taken on a whole city under its wing, laying aside its fragmented pieces in hopes that one day rejoining them in a demonstration of architectural workmanship. Larry hauled off spandrels and cornices with as much fuss as in self-promotion as a tailor altering a sleeve. It was just what he did. Piled in his warehouses, first in Soulard, at Tower Grove, and finally here at Sauget, the fruits of his labor stand hidden from public view, meticulously in built crates, marked Mavarcos Candy or Ambassador Building, lined up like forgotten stars, waiting backstage for their encore. Who knows what else waits inside those crates? Once my wife and I gave a reading of St. Louis literature that included an excerpt from William T. Sherman's memoir. The future general talks about waking up outside his Locust Street home early in 1861 to see a crowd erupting in the early spasms of the coming Civil War. After the talk, an elderly gentleman approached us, introduced himself as a former building inspector of St. Louis. I demolished Sherman's home, he said, with evident regret. Another voice rose behind him, quiet, matter of fact. I kept the fireplace. That was Larry Giles. I think it's right back there. It hurts to think that Sherman's mantle, with thousands of other treasures, lies here still, unseen, awaiting its day in the spotlight. Somewhere up in heaven's scaffold, Larry is watching us today, leaning back, lighting another cigarette, and telling us to be patient. He knew that his St. Louis in some form would rise again. Starting today, it's up to us to reward that patience and the single-minded devotion that it masked and carry his work forward. We don't yet know all that this task entails, but our job today, gathered at this industrial site, remains a simple one: to ensure that Larry Giles, modesty as he lived, received his well-earned reprise, a proper epitaph. There is one that I like to use. I'm going to reuse one. It seems appropriate. It's from over 3 centuries ago for the architect Christopher Wren from his tomb in St. Paul's Cathedral. It's also very fitting that we repeat it. If you seek his monument, look around you. Thank you, Larry Giles.